This past season's home run Girl Scout cookie was the Raspberry Rally cookie. Similar to the famous Thin Mint, which is my personal favorite, except for with a raspberry center. The cookie was introduced via online sales only and made the news due to it being sold out, creating a supply and demand crunch. Hey everyone, welcome back to Sunday Dinners with Tina. I'm Tina, and today we have a special treat for you. We're going to recreate one of our favorite Girl Scout cookies, the Raspberry Rally cookie. These cookies are a burst of raspberry goodness, and we're going to show you how to make them from scratch. So, let's get started. All right, so for this recipe, we are going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour minus 2 tablespoons. Okay, then 1 cup of unsalted butter, softened. So you can soften this in on room temperature or just put it in your microwave for like in 30 seconds until you can feel that it's soft. Okay. And then a half a cup of sugar, or in my case, stevia. A half teaspoon of kosher salt. 2 tablespoons of raspberry powder. Now, if you don't have raspberry powder, which, by the way, you can get from Amazon, if you don't have raspberry powder, you can use raspberry extract. And just make sure that you don't use too much. Like for me, I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of the raspberry extract. Okay. And then 1 to 2 drops of pink gel food coloring. This is optional if you want a deeper pink color. Your extract, your raspberry powder should give you that pink color already. But if you don't have that, you can use the pink gel food coloring. Now, if you don't have pink, you can just mix red and yellow together to make yourself the pink color. Okay. All right, and then you can have, we're going to be using baking chips or melting wafers. A lot of people don't like to use chocolate chips because they have emulsifiers and they don't allow them to melt well. For that reason, a lot of people don't really like to use chips for dipping cookies. The wafers will lead to a smoother finish and coating. What I do though is I add this with a little bit of butter to give that smooth texture to it. So you can use chips if you want to. Now I'm using, again, with those of us who are diabetic, I'm using Lily's less sugar. And this is stevia sweetened. So this has 0 sugar in it. Okay? All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just mix our stuff together, bake our cookies, and put everything together. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. All right, so first we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to line a baking sheet like so with 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. Okay, now we're going to cream our butter. Now if your butter is it's cold and it's a bit hard, just put it in your microwave for 30 seconds first, and you should have your butter should be ready to cream. Okay, so I'm going to put our butter into our pan or into our bowl. Now remember, you're going to need about a cup of butter. Okay. And to this butter, we're going to add our sugar, which is about a half a cup. Okay, like half a cup of sugar. Okay, we're going to turn on our, we're put our bowl up first, of course, and we're going to turn it on and cream the butter with the sugar. Make sure the sugar or the stevia is well incorporated into the butter. About medium-high speed is what you want. You want it to be fluffy. So about 5 minutes worth of mixing here. And then once in a while, you just want to scrape the sides so everything mixes together really well. Alright, now to this we're going to add, if you have the raspberry powder, you can do that now, but now we're going to add our raspberry essence, or actually our food coloring, which is our raspberry food coloring. Our raspberry essence. Flour. And the reason for salt, of course, is cut down on the sugar. Okay. Alright, our dough is starting to form. Okay, so about like a minute more. Now, if you want this darker, you can just adjust your food coloring. Use more red, more yellow. You can make it more colorful if you want, or more pinkish. I couldn't find pink food coloring, so I just mixed red and yellow. I believe there's pink food coloring out there, so you can use that too. And you can use it, you can use as much as you want, well, enough to darken it as much as you want. Okay. Alright, now scrape it down some more, or one more time. And then we're going to put this on our cutting board, and we're going to get ready to use our mold, our cookie mold. Okay? Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're going to form our cookies now. So we're going to place our cookie dough between 2 sheets of parchment paper. Okay, now I would suggest that you do this in batches, because you want to make sure that your cookies are not too thin and not too thick. Okay, so we're gonna roll this in batches. So you just put this in, put your dough in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. and take a rolling and roll it until you have your desired thickness or thinness. Personally, I like my cookies a bit thin, so it's crunchier. This is depending, it depends on your preference. Some people like thick, chewier. I like it crunchier. Okay. So just flatten it out. Like so. And then I like use a scone cutter like this. Okay, because I have more control over it. And then just get circles out of your dough, cookie circles. And the reason I do this is so it's even. Okay? Like so. Okay, then we're going to put this in our cookie sheet. So that's it, and it's up to you. You can literally make this into any shape. Okay. Just make sure you don't put your cookies too close to each other. And after you get your circles, just flatten it out again until you have used all of your dough. Okay. So just keep doing this until you don't have any more dough left. And then we're going to bake our cookie. Like I said, you can make this as thin as you want. Or as thick as you want. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple more here. And then we're gonna bake our cookies. That way, it's ready to dip into our chocolate. Okay, I know it kind of messed it up, but if you mess it up, just reshape it again, and that should be good. that didn't work. Okay, so just keep shaping your dough into cookies. Set it aside. You're done with all of your dough. And then we'll just have to bake that into our oven. Okay? And basically, that's what it looks like for baking. So make sure you put parchment paper between your pan and your cookie, and just put it into your oven at 350 degrees for about 12 minutes. Okay? And then we're going to allow this to cool. After it bakes, you're going to cool this down for 10 minutes before removing. And in the meantime, while our cookies are baking, what we're going to do is you're going to melt. I've already melted some chocolate here. You're going to use either baking chips or baking wafers. Like I said before, I like to use baking wafers, melting wafers, because it's easier it has more body to it. It will adhere to itself, better shape. But you only have the baking chips, just add a little bit of butter into your chocolate, melt it down at low temperature, and that should be ready for dipping. Okay? All right, so we're gonna wait for our cookies to bake. And we're going to get ready to dip. All right, I'll see you. Okay, so we're ready to dip our cookies now. So using tongs or 2 forks, we're gonna dip each cookie into the melted chocolate. Okay, and then let the excess drip off. Okay, the best way to do this is to just put baking racks on top of parchment paper and just let your chocolate drip off of that. Okay, like so. Now you might want to do this fast because the chocolate really hardens fast. There you go. So just make sure you cover your whole cookie with your chocolate. And let it drip. Oh. Now this chocolate is actually diabetic chocolate. So semi-sweet chips with stevia. So this is a cookie that diabetics can eat. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and dip the rest of these cookies, and while we finish up. All right, see you in a bit.